Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and welcome to another FroKnowsPhoto Raw Talk. This week's episode is number 34, and I've got Stephen here with some news, which we're going to get to in a minute, and then we're going to fly some solo, and I hope you guys are enjoying the multi-camera angles. If you are watching on the YouTube, if you're watching out there or if you're listening out there in the podcast world, just audio, you can check out the amazing multi-angle shoots that we're now doing for FroKnowsPhoto RAWtalk. Just check out FroKnowsPhoto.com/podcast, and you can check out this episode and last week's number 33, where we used multi-camera angles. So, Stephen, you're back with some more photo news.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? How was your week?
It was good. It was a busy week as usual. Moving out.
Yeah, you're moving up?
Yes, sir.
You're moving out. Just like Billy Joel, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So what do we got? Where are we at this week? You have a couple stories?
We got a couple stories today. Basically, one of them to start off with was Jeff Bridges, not just an actor. Apparently, he's a photographer too, more like a photojournalist. Behind the scenes, apparently, he shoots everything from panoramic images mainly, but to just regular stills. But he shoots on film, 35 millimeter film. He shoots on, forgive me if I pronounce this wrong, a wide lux panoramic camera.
Sure.
Which basically, when it shoots, it pans and slowly exposes the film, making that 180-degree angle.
So what is he shooting? Like, what are some of the images that he has done?
What I've seen is that it's from Iron Man. Iron Man 1, I believe. I think that was the only one he was actually in. But basically, it's just images of behind-the-scenes stuff, what's going on in production, that kind of stuff, and him capturing Robert Downey Jr., all that.
So he's just
all behind the scenes.
He has the access, so he's able to get those shots and show in an interesting panoramic way.
Yeah, it looks like he started in high school, at least what I read, and apparently he's been using film since, and he hasn't stopped or went digital.
Right.
And I mean, he does do all black and white too, which is different, but it looks cool. It's just a very documentary kind of style way that he shoots. And apparently whenever he's not acting, he's constantly shooting.
Oh, wow. So you can see the sample images, or you can see all of the news articles over on FroKnowsPhoto.com/podcast. If you're watching him on YouTube right now, you can click the link that shows up on the screen to click over to check out that post. Exactly. Yeah. What's next?
I was checking online, and I passed this awesome looking Nikon. I think it was a D3 or D3S. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but it's around that. It might have been a D4, but this dude basically painted it. It's called Desert Mirage Lizard color. It basically is like a desert storm colored body. And he didn't just paint the body, he painted everything from the flashes to the lenses to the body. And he didn't take it apart like you would normally do to paint your camera, which is a risky thing to do. But basically he just hand painted it, everything from his like 400 millimeter lens to his 50 millimeter lens.
Did it say what he painted it with?
It didn't, at least not that I saw. It might have said in the article, but
it looks pretty crazy. It's multicolors. Yeah. I mean, it's not something that everybody's going to do.
It's almost something like if you were actually in, Afghanistan or something like that. It'd be kind of a cool camera to bring out because it's just black and tan.
Yeah, I wonder if
Desert Storm look.
You have to watch out for reflections popping through the lenses and stuff like that, because they have the problem when they look through the scopes. Mm-hmm. But what else? Can people do this on their own?
Apparently they can. There's a website called pimpyourcam.com. So if you're not very confident that you'll... Pimpyourcam.com.
As in PIMPCAM?
Correct. Pimpyourcam.com.
Hey, Pimp Your Cam. Would you like to pimp your cam? You can do it here at pimpyourcam.com.
Because I know I would never touch my 5D. I mean, at least myself. I would maybe send it out to do it. I'd never touch your 5D
either.
Yeah, okay.
I would. For anybody out there, I would do 5D.
Yeah. To mess it up?
No, but you know what's funny, Stephen? I would want a 1DX before I want a 5D.
Oh, I agree.
It's the same thing as, I was shooting with the D800. I had a shoot for Billboard magazine the other day, and it was Sarah Bareilles. She is sweet. She's very nice.
What's that song she got?
I'm not gonna write you a love song because you asked for it.
You're a backing vocalist, right?
Oh, I'd be a background singer any day of the week. Any day of the week.
You showed her that too when you were...
I did. She's like, hey, I'm Sarah. I'm like, hi, I'm Jared. Would you like to touch my hair? And she's like, absolutely. Come back to my tour bus. She's like, here you go. And no, she didn't really say that. But I didn't have a lot of time to shoot with her. I may post those. I'll post the article or whatever Billboard does with them, because when it's a job for somebody else, they take liberties.
Yep.
They use the word, we need these horizontals for cropping purposes. I was like, all right. And everybody knows I don't crop. But it just is what it is. I didn't feel like There's difference when you're working for somebody else. They have different needs.
And they posted on Instagram, didn't
they posted one of them on Instagram to 360 some thousand people. You would expect more action on it.
Yeah.
I didn't get a lot of action out of it, and they don't get a lot of action. You know, with 360,000 people following you, you would expect to get more than 2,000 likes on a photo.
Did they crop it?
Well, it's squared.
That's what I mean. Like, did they use like Square Ready, like an app?
No, they just cropped it square.
Gotta love
Which is fine. It is what it is. And I wouldn't have picked that picture. But where was I going? Oh, I shot a little bit of the show because I had to shoot from the soundboard, which makes no sense. It's like, give me a break. I have to shoot from the soundboard.
I can't believe they made you shoot from the soundboard.
And you're giving me 3 songs. So I went home, I got the 300-2.8, and I had the D4 with the 300-2.8, and then I had the D800, and I put like a 24-70 on there. And the pictures suck from the 20 from that camera. If you're off, they're mushy as hell. And I'm not a big fan of them being mushy. And that's why I got ripped on for saying that it's not a pro camera. I don't consider it to be a full pro camera. It's a professional camera. Yes, it's expensive, but there is a big difference between a D4 or a D3S or a D3 and that type of body and a D700 and a D800. They are just built better. That's just my experience in low light. If you're shooting those in the studio, you probably will never run into a problem. But yeah, anyway.
How was the light for that, by the way?
Horrible.
Really?
The lighting guy no lights changed. He's sitting at a piano.
Help you out.
It was one song was all blue, one song was all purple.
Gotta love it.
And then the other had a nice wash, but then I'm shooting from the soundboard. All I'm going to get is her head sticking over the piano.
Yep.
Anyway, I got off to the side there.
It's all good. Next up on news, IBM apparently released the world's smallest video ever to date. Basically, it's a stop motion video that uses about 242 atoms. That's how small it is. And it features real-time atoms that are basically moving, and they're magnified 100 times, which is, according to my notes, 1/25 millionth of an inch. 1/25 millionth of an inch.
So was it a porn?
Or 1/25 million? Yeah.
What was it of?
It was just a guy saying hi to an atom, like a stick figure.
And it works?
Yeah.
And you have the video for us to see?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't
Everything's
wait to see
on the website.
that. I need to see that. That's crazy.
It's really cool. And apparently they moved atoms to very precise locations by using a super sharp needle along a copper surface to physically attract the atoms in the shape they wanted. And still images were captured, and they made a time-lapse stop motion video.
Look out, radioactive man!
And they also posted, if you're wondering how they did it, as far as that process goes, it's a behind-the-scenes video as well, like a 5-minute video.
Oh, nice.
Showing, and they used a giant telescope that apparently weighs 2 tons, and it operates at negative 268 degrees Celsius.
Telescope or microscope?
I'm sorry, microscope. So,
come on, Stephen. Get your news right.
Not anyone can do this at home.
No,
if you're
can't.
trying to photograph atoms, I mean, you need some serious, I don't even know how much this thing costs. It's got to be up in the millions.
Millions or yeah. What else we have?
Rumors that Canon are apparently trying to replace the 45 and 90 millimeter tilt shift lenses. They're just rumors right now, but apparently they're testing them out. They sent some bodies out, some lenses out, and so hopefully we'll get a replacement for that. They're predicting early 2014 and maybe an announcement before Christmas.
Wah. Rumors.
Yeah,
you know my feelings on rumors.
But I will say, at least what I've come to realize is that 90% of the time, those rumors are typically true.
Yeah.
Maybe not the times, but...
You know what I've come to realize about Canon lenses?
Mm-hmm.
That version 2s are always better than version 1s.
I think that's with any lens.
And speaking of Canon, you saw that I reviewed that Pixma Pro 10.
Yes.
Yeah, for anybody who hasn't seen it, I've reviewed the Pixma Pro 10 Canon inkjet printer. And the thing is, I've always said I'll never own an inkjet printer. Well, it's official. I own an inkjet printer, and I love the thing very much.
Which I saw the prints, and they are incredible.
And
I used to work in a lab, and they blew my mind.
And I can't wait. I dropped them an email. I'm like, guys, here's the review I did of your printer. I hope you like it. By the way, I'd like to get one of those big ass printers, one of the big ones.
The Pro one?
No. We're talking big boy printers.
Even bigger.
We're talking 40 or 50 inches wide with the roll on it. Yeah, they told me it has to come on a pallet, but we are starting that process, and I hope one of those lands here, and we'll film it being carted into my loft.
How much does something like that cost?
They're like $5-6 grand, depending on the size.
I actually thought they'd be more.
There's one that's like $2 or
bad.
$3 grand, but they're smaller. But then, yeah, I think you get into $4,000 or $5,000 range.
Wow, that's really not that bad. I would expect like 50, 60K, but
no, man,
5,
these
6
things are
bad.
cheap.
They're getting way cheaper these days.
Inexpensive.
I'm just thinking of chemical lab processors, and they're way more money.
Yep.
Speaking of Canon, though, the 5D Mark III, we talked about this last week. The firmware upgrade is official now. You can download it on their website.
I saw your Vine of that.
Yeah. I posted a Vine video of me upgrading my 5D Mark III, which everything was
It's
fine.
exciting. I mean, you took a Vine a couple of seconds and it changed percentages and it didn't blow up.
It took about 5 minutes. I mean, it didn't become a brick, so I'm happy about it. That's one thing I get super nervous about updating every time. Every time. You never know. I mean, you don't format your card, your battery dies on you.
Well, that's why you have to make sure your battery's fully charged. And we know those Canon batteries. I mean, I wish they would put bigger. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. We're in news right now.
Another discussion, another time. Here's something that might annoy you. In the UK, apparently the rights around who can use your images has drastically changed. They're trying to push an act. It's called the Instagram Act.
They call it the Instagram Act.
Which I'm just reading off my notes real quick. Apparently the act shifts the power away from citizens, and it's being called the Instagram Act, like I just said. But it's not official yet. I mean, it's not definitely going to happen.
Voted on.
So we don't know. It's not,
Right.
But apparently Parliament hasn't voted down an act since 1979. At least this is what I've read.
What does the act say?
The act basically says, let me see if I have the exact description here.
They're basically saying that the rights are not yours if I read it this morning and everybody's been telling me to read this thing. Okay, go ahead.
The act, in quotes, the act contains changes to UK copyright law which permit the commercial exploitation of images where information identifying the owner is missing, so-called orphan works, by placing the work into what's known as extended collective licensing schemes. Since most digital images on the internet today are orphans, the metadata is missing or has been stripped by a large organization, basically Facebook, Instagram, that kind of stuff. So millions of photographs and illustrations are swept into such schemes. For the first time anywhere in the world, the act will permit the widespread commercial exploitation of unidentified work, and the user only needs to perform a diligent search.
It's not happening, Stephen. We can stop right there. Seriously. I mean, I'm interrupting you, which I'll get yelled at for, but it's not happening.
Yeah,
this is not going to pass. I don't care that they haven't struck one down in the last 70 years or since whatever, but it's not happening. You can't say that because Facebook strips your metadata that it's now an orphaned work because somewhere your metadata still exists and you took that photo.
Yep.
It's just not going to happen. It's too overreaching. It's the same thing that was going to be tried here, and I just think it's scare tactics. It's not happening.
Yeah.
People are going to no.
I agree. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's what they're pitching right now, and we'll see if it actually goes through. We'll see if Parliament pushes it.
Yes, and their wigs and everything.
Something else as far as news goes, never before seen photos from the set of Star Wars
really
has hit online, which is pretty cool. They basically have all behind the scenes stuff of how they made the special effects, and they have some funny pictures too of making the actors more personable and like showcasing just funny behind the scenes stuff. And they have like some interesting things where they have Darth Vader when Luke gets his arm chopped off, that kind of thing, and he falls.
Yeah.
Well, they have like the behind the scenes picture where it's mattresses that he's falling onto, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting. The quality too. I was kind of blown away as far as this film quality from then. It looks like any D4 would shoot today.
Sure. Well, they probably had lighting and everything.
Yeah, it looks
when
really
you're
good.
on a movie set, what's great about doing stills for movies,
everything's lit right.
Oh, they light everything perfectly. It's for you. It's like because they're lighting it for video or for film, and then you sit there and you're like, oh, Jesus, it's easy. I just need to take pictures.
Yeah.
All I need to do is get my exposure right and keep it because the lighting is perfect.
It's going to not change, yeah.
Exactly.
Something really cool too, Toshiba has released the fastest compact flash card ever made. It's 1,066 times card.
What was the fastest one before that? 1,000?
I think 1,000,
Lexar?
Yeah. So not too much of an upgrade, but this is going to be for your 4K video recording on like the 1DC, that kind of stuff. But basically it has read speeds of 160 megabytes a second and write speeds of 150 megabytes a second. And it comes in 16, 32, and 64 gig cards. And that is, I think, was officially released last week.
So who does Toshiba, do they even put out their own cards?
I didn't think they did, but they do.
I mean, they may own the technology.
I think it's a different brand, but Toshiba owns that brand.
Right.
I should double check on that, but
Yeah,
you'll see the
sure.
article on the website. You can read up all about it. Another cool thing that's really interesting that kind of blew my mind is this guy is doing macro photography on insects. And what he did is he set up this laser rig. So apparently, if I read it right, when the insect is mid-flight and hits these laser beams, the shutter goes off at that exact second. And basically those lasers are set to make it go off right
That's
away.
pretty cool. I mean, we've seen stuff like that with noise, like where a glass bowl breaks and at the same time the shutter goes off. to have the laser go off and capture, did they have the images up there too?
Yeah, they had images of like
Pretty
a
cool.
ladybug mid-flight. Yeah, it's cool because it looks like they're like literally like landing on like a an airport or something like that.
That's
But
something I got to check out.
yeah, it's really interesting. And the rig he has, I think he said it costs like $2,500 to put it all together. So it's not something super cheap that anyone can do. But if that's your hobby,
But the
or
type of work
you
you're
got
going
the
to get
money.
out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool. So he has all the information on how he put it together?
Yep.
He's going to probably start selling them.
Yeah, well, I think they actually just trademarked it, the company that he bought the lasers from, and they're calling it like the insect rig, something like
So they
that.
trademarked the name.
Some anagram for
So
it.
they'll probably sell the schematics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it looks really cool.
Cool.
If you're into that kind of stuff. Or really anything macro photography wise
Yeah.
that's moving. And then one last thing, a retro behind the scenes video showcasing NASA, the launch, any space shuttle launch from 1980s.
Oh, space shuttles from the 80s.
From the 80s. They showed behind the scenes video of how they captured that then, which apparently they used 138 video cameras to capture one launch. And they have blast-proof camera housing on each camera, crazy lenses that are supposed to reflect flare and reflect the flame and all
The
that
heat
kind
and
of stuff.
everything.
Yeah. So, I mean, these cameras were serious. They're huge, too.
Nice.
And the video is about 10 minutes. It's kind of cool. It's an in-depth video of about how they had that all set up compared to today, which I'm sure they have a lot. Well, they have the space shuttle launch on hold right now, but...
Well, space shuttles are done.
Exactly.
Done.
Yeah.
Done, and done. Retired.
Yeah.
Gone.
And they didn't shoot
Officially
digital
gone.
then, obviously.
No, they didn't.
So it was a lot more of a pain
Absolutely.
to do. And that's about it for
That's
this
it for
week's music
photo news?
Photo news.
You said
not
music news. Brought to you by Stephen. One slip up. All right, Stephen, thank you for the photo
No
news.
problem.
I'm going to switch over to here, and we're going to start getting ready to go into the flying solo portion where you guys send me your work and do all of that. Well, not send me your work, where you send in questions and I answer them flying solo. So, Stephen, you're good. Stephen's going to back away. He's going to check these cameras, make sure we're doing the multi-angles right.
Yes, sir.
And I'll keep going. So while he's doing that, I want to let you know that this week is brought to you by, I don't think it's brought to you by anybody. It's brought to you by me. How about them apples? We good, Stephen? Awesome. Yeah, actually, we'll just make it the FroKnowsPhoto beginner guide. Don't forget to check that out, FroKnowsPhoto.com/guide. That is where you have the beginner guide. It's 3 hours long, and if you'd like to pick one up, it's really going to help you out to get out of auto, get you more confidence in your work, and really set you on the right path with the understanding of the basics of photography, because that is where it is all about. Once you get the basics down, you can pretty much do anything you want with photography. I'll thank allenscamera.com. Thanks, Drobo. Thanks, BBO Poker Tables, Adorama Picks, and whatever. Whatever. We'll move on. There's really no need to plug E. McPluggerson, too many people. Let's get into this. And I don't have my glasses on. Darn it, Stephen. I forgot to grab my glasses. I'm blind. I got to read this stuff. Hold on. Let's see. Sean Richardson. Why do some photographers act like douchebags when dealing with other photographers? Can it all be competitive, or can't it all? I don't know what he means by can't it all be competitive. Some photographers are always going to act like douchebags. That's just the nature of the beast. Because some people are in the pit, or not. I don't even need to say in the pit. I'll tell you, I ran into some douchebaggy photographers before. I was at the Flyers games, and they had the newspaper photographer, and it was in between periods, or it was before the game, and I just walked up to him and I was asking him questions. I was like, hey, how you doing? What are you shooting with? What are you doing? And he's just like, I'm shooting. I'm busy. That was a douchebag. But not everybody's a douchebag. You don't have to worry about that, and you don't have to act like one either. I'm all about helping out as many photographers as possible, helping out the little guy, helping out the older guy. I don't care if there's a 60-year-old in the pit shooting, or a 60-year-old that I run into at a wedding who has a camera and he's asking me questions. I'm going to help him out. So, just be helpful and mindful of other photographers that are out there, and don't be afraid to help, and don't be afraid to give tips, and don't be afraid to help somebody out. So not everybody's a douchebag. Don't worry about it. Oh, you found my glasses, Stephen? These are the wrong ones. It's the other ones. These are my magnifying glasses. These are the ones I use at the computer. There's another pair over there if you want to grab those. Those are the ones that make me not look so blind, because we got to put the designer one on. Keith Fusco, do you have any tips on trying to improve your portfolio and how to pick the best images to showcase your work when you have that many that you personally like? Yeah, I've got some tips for portfolios. One, I talked about this at Antonelli Institute the other day when I was speaking to the whole graduating class. I said to them, if you're going to take your 20 best images, thank you, Stephen. If you're going to take your 20 best images as I put on my glasses, 20 best images, and somebody says to you, you want to hide you want to put your best first, or you want to finish with your best work. Well, no, your whole portfolio should be your best work. There is no reason to hide an image in your best work that you don't like. If you don't like the image, do not put it in your portfolio. And some other tips are, if you've got similar images, 3 portraits of the same person, do not put all of the same images, or do not put similar ones together. There's no reason to showcase the same images over and over again. It's repetitive. You want to showcase different work. Now, if it's a photo story and they're similar and they work to tell a story, that's perfectly fine. But also, when you're building portfolios online, don't put 200 pictures up in one set. Don't put 50 pictures up in one set. You're just going to bore people. You have to lead with your best work. Put 20 or 25 of your best images up. Even if it's 15, 16 images, do that, and then split up into other portfolios to showcase different types of work. If people want to see more work, they're going to ask you for it, and then you need to have even better work. Well, not even better. You need to have just as good work to show them, if not better, later on. So if you have, say, 30 really, really awesome images for a portfolio or a little more, put out 15 that work together as your main portfolio, and then if they want to see more, put out some more. So really, it's about finding what works best for you, but not putting out too many pieces. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want people to get bored. Like I'll just tell you, I have a mistake in my portfolios right now on my website. I'm redoing my site. I'm building a better, cleaner site, similar to what Adam Lerner has. He uses a photofolio. A lot of pros use this. I was on my site looking at my Modest Yahoo section. I don't have photos there. I have a video. What person wants to sit there for 4 minutes if all they want to do is see my photos and see how my work is? That's bad. That is bad that I have that there, and I think that will hurt me from getting jobs because people don't want to sit there and see those. And those images, in my opinion, need to be seen. Braxton Clavins. What should a young photographer do? Let's say 18. Braxton, are you 18? If almost every single client looked down upon the photographer, meaning that since the photographer is young, they may not pay the photographer full price or say it's a portfolio builder or some other BS. He wrote out the full BS. Look, I started at 15 shooting professionally, meaning I got paid the first time when I was shooting at 15. And people look down upon you because you're young and you don't have what they would perceive to be as the experience or time in. But you can look at a guy like Joey L, who's been shooting, professionally since 16 or so. What's he, only 21, 22, or 23 years old? And he travels the world and he gets major shoots. It didn't stop him because his work was quality. His work is quality, and that's what people look for. If your work is solid, then you don't have to, you lead with your work. Don't let your age mean anything. Let your work speak for itself. So, what I have to say to you is have solid work. Showcase your work. Beat these people up to look at your work first. Don't look at you about age, and don't go in there with the mentality that, oh, I'm only 18. I just want to get experience. Don't put yourself down. There is no reason to lead with, I'm a young photographer. I'm a child photographer. I did this. I used to say, oh, I'm an 18-year-old photographer here in Philadelphia. I'm 17, and you know what? Who cares? I don't want somebody to give me a job because I'm 17. I think it hurts you more. I am a photographer. Here is my work. Hire me. That's what it comes down to. There is no need to add those extra words in there when you're asking for a gig. And when you meet them in person, it's like, hey, so I look young. That's okay. But look at the quality of work that I do. There's professionals in sports that are 15, 14, to 18 years old. Look at golf. Look at tennis back in the day. You had Anna Kournikova. She was hot. She was young. You had Jennifer Capriati, who came onto the scene at like 14 or 15. Hingis, whatever Hingis's name was at the time. I forget her name. But yeah, there's been young professionals around all the time. You may have to work a little harder, but just showcase your work and let people see that you're good. Chris Crane. How do you come up with FroKnowsPhoto name? It's a good question. I had the Fro. I was sitting there trying to think of website names that I could that were interesting that I could use to start this blog. And I don't know where the nose photo came from, but I just think I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I just came up with FroKnowsPhoto and I thought it worked well. Thought it was better than just, jaredpolin.com, Jared Polin Photography. It didn't have a rhyme. It didn't sound good. But when I wrote down FroKnowsPhoto and went to the website, went to buy it, it was there, and that was it. I was like, this sounds good. Now it's my job to brand this. So I branded it with the logo. I branded it with the FroKnowsPhoto, and the rest is history. It came about, and I owned it. I didn't ask anybody what they thought. Honestly, I'm like, this is what I'm doing. Because there's times where other people can advise you or talk you out of things or say, I don't think that will work, but you never know until you actually do it. So that's what it comes down to. I liked it, and I stuck with it. Bob McKinley, does this, your teachings, podcast, bloggings, reviews, etc., help or hurt your photography business? With all the time it takes to do what I need to read away from this boom mic. With all the time that it takes to do what you do for Fro Nation, have you had not to take a job to serve the Fro photographers, the Fro followers? And on the flip side, do you know, because of the Fro branding, you've gotten photo jobs? I've gotten some gigs from what I've done. I get a lot more reviews and things like that, more so than actual photo jobs. But I don't think it hurts my shooting, because I've come up with a way that I can create the content when I can create the content. I can prepare it. I can work my ass off on a day where I'm not doing other photo shoots and get everything prepared and ready to go for the days that I may not be around, where I have to speak at a school in the morning and have a photo shoot at night or in the evening, and then I get home later and I just work for another hour or two getting the site stuff done. So I don't think it hurts, and I don't mind doing it. I like all of the work that I can put into it, and I think it helps me. I mean, it gets me out there, but no, it doesn't hurt the business of being a professional photographer. It keeps me shooting, and I love the fact that I can shoot anything and use it to help you guys become better photographers. So let's move on to the next one. Julio Valdez, D7100 or D600. Already have the 24-70, and I don't usually talk about gear, but already have the 24-70 and 70-200 Sigma 2.8. Currently using a D3200, so looking for a main camera and use D3200 as a backup. Is the D600 worth the extra cash? Thanks. So here's my opinion. You already have a 24-70 and a 70-200 2.8. Both of those are kick-ass full-frame lenses. So my answer straight up is yes. Yes. Use the D600 because you already have quality glass. See if you can dump the D3200. Not sure that I want that as my backup personally. You do need a backup from time to time on certain gigs. It's good to have something just in case your main body goes down. My D4 is my main camera. I don't have two D4s, so I technically don't have a backup that I would be really exuberantly happy to use because it doesn't match my D4's capability. But, in your case, yes, D600 all the way. Don't go with the D7100 because you already have the full frame glass, and it's going to be better on that camera. All right, here we go. We've got Esteban. What was that, Stephen? It sounded like the shutter went down or the mirror went down. It wasn't on that one. Was it on this one? Or was that just you moving? You put your headphones down, right? My headphones, my Sennheisers. Esteban Martinez. Do you think it's worth to pay Facebook to promote? Oh, this is a great question. By the way, Steven, we don't need to record this. Is this one even recording? You're so smart. Steven is on the ball. He stopped the recording of the camera of him because what are we going to cut to, an empty chair? You're on the ball, Steven. That's what you look for with people that you work with, whether they're part-time, whether they're assistants, and that makes a good assistant, guys. Remember that. Thinking about things practically and knowing what needs to be done in certain situations so that the main photographer doesn't need to worry about it, so that when they realize that there was something that they finally think of 25 minutes after the assistant already thought of it, that they're on the ball. That's awesome. Thank you, Steven. This is a great question from Esteban Martinez. Do you think it's worth it to pay Facebook to promote posts for your page? Facebook organically only pushes posts to about 20%. I think it's about 18% of the people of who'd like your page. How can you make sure everybody is engaged if only 20% or less get your post in their newsfeed? I don't know if this is a photo question, but I know you may have something to say about this since I've heard you talk about it before. This is a marketing and branding question, so it's absolutely part of photography. When Facebook started allowing you to do Facebook promoted posts to pay, I did try to do them. I did some of them because at the time you got more bang for your buck. So say you gave them $200 to promote your post. You could get it promoted to say 200,000 people. It would say that 200,000 of your fans and friends of your fans, people who like your page, will be able to get that post. It will be seen by 200,000 people. Well, what's happened now is the last time I checked, 200 people will be seen by 32,000 $200 will be seen by 32,000 people. That's a bunch of crap. I would not spend that money because I can do that organically, and so can you. So the thing is, yes, 20% of the people may see you because the news feeds get cluttered. That means you have to put out better content. That means you have to engage better with your audience. So instead of posting a photo or posting a job and saying, look, hey, I just did this today. If you're looking to hire somebody to shoot your children, hire me. There's no engagement value there. Nobody's going to like that or comment on that. Facebook has edge rank. The more comments you get quicker and the more likes you get quicker, or shares, the higher your ranking is, meaning more people are going to see that post because Facebook is going to rank it higher. So instead of asking people to hire you as a children's photographer, this is something I've said in the past, is instead of selling, start telling. Tell stories. Hey guys, I just photographed I got this awesome photo of this kid putting spaghetti all over his hair. What have you seen in your childhood, or what has your kids done that you've captured amazing images of? Either let me know about it or share a photo, link to it. What's going to happen there is people are going to like that. They're going to like the photo that you put up that's funny. They're going to share their stories of the past of how the funny pictures that they captured. They're going to post it. They're going to share it to their wall, especially if the photo is really good. And that is what it's about. That is how you engage and get seen more on Facebook. Were you waving at me? No? I thought you were waving at me. What'd you just kick? Stop kicking stuff, Stephen. You're ruining my chi. But that's what you need to do on Facebook. That's how you get better engagement. And then if you've noticed, I post multiple times in a day. Sometimes I'll post at 11 at night. And then I won't post again till, say, 10 in the morning. And then I've got something maybe at 2. Maybe I got something at 8. And sometimes it's the same post, but I'll do it a different way because different people are going to see it at different times in their feed. Now, if people are following your page, you don't want to overdo it if they're always checking out your page because they're coming to your page, they're engaging. But in order to get people more interested to see things more often, I do that. I put up multiple posts in a day and I change them up slightly, but that gets my ranking better because more people are going to see it. Which is more, we've got Keegan, Monceaux, Manu. I'm going to call that Keegan Manu because it's probably French. Which is more dangerous, a rhino or a hippo? A rhino has a horn, but a hippo is fat. They're both fat. I don't know. I think, Stephen, what do you think? Hippos or rhinos? Which is more dangerous? Rhinos. Why do you think a rhino is more dangerous? It's got a giant horn, but hippos can run really fast, and they're like tanks. I think they can run faster than rhinos. I could be wrong about this. I am not a zoologist, and I don't know much about the animals of the Serengeti, and they may not be in the Serengeti. I'm going to go ahead and say the rhino because of the horn. Ted Ulrich, Jared, if you were given a golden opportunity to shoot an event, photojournalism style, with an extremely short deadline to get the images in, would you A, shoot as much as possible and turn them in immediately as JPEGs, or shoot and scoot early to process the RAW files before returning? I shoot RAW exclusively myself, but I have nearly been put in similar situations and wasn't sure what direction to go. Great question, Ted. If I can help it, well, I'm always shooting RAW. It doesn't matter. If they need to turn it around extremely fast, like I'm shooting it and they need to turn it around extremely fast, then I will give them the option of dumping the JPEGs quickly, but I will stipulate that, look, if you need these to go up really quick, normally I like to tweak my files because that is part of my process. But because you need them really quick, you can use these now, but I'm going to deliver you the final images because that is representative of my work. Or if I do have time to shoot and scoot, I will bring the laptop, I will tweak the files, I will export them. It may take me an extra hour or a half an hour while I'm there, but at least I'm tweaking the images the way that I would want them. Next, Dale Nevin. How do you handle the negative emails or comments that you get from time to time? That's a great question, too. Let me drink some water to that. Water. You handle it. You realize that the people that are commenting negatively, one, will never say it to your face, because they just won't. And two, emails that come in, I don't really get negative emails as often as you get negative comments on YouTube. You rarely see negative stuff on Facebook because on Facebook, people can't hide behind a screen name. They actually tell you what they think, and they do it in a less abrasive way. I have found that in social media, people jump to the conclusion, Matt, more than anything quicker than you could if they were in person. They say things behind their safety of their computer and their screen name that they wouldn't say if they ever walked up to you on the street. They're a bunch of wusses hiding behind their screen names. But, you know, if you're going to leave a comment on Facebook, it's not going to be as harsh because you thought it out because your name is attached to it. So I don't really worry about it. Honestly, don't worry about it too much because it is what it is. There's more positive people out there than negative, so that's what it's about. Luis Betancourt II. Are you working on another Go Above Auto 2? Maybe more depth, or maybe more in-depth, I'll say. I'd buy it too, ooh, LOL. I've watched the DVD 5 times already. Did you pay me 5 times? Just kidding. You can watch it as many times as you want. And he tells me how to pronounce his last name, which I already did because it's Louis Betancourt, or Louis, Luis. No, I'm not working on a Going Above Auto 2 because I think I've hit the basics perfectly in the first guide. What I could see doing is creating photo shoots, multiple photo shoots in a release. Say I do 5 to 10 photo shoots, different types, using different gear, and then putting that together and allowing people to purchase that to learn from the process that I have. Yeah. So it's about learning the process, and I don't think I'd release another auto one, but we do have the lighting one coming out. I've seen maybe 50% of it. The rest is still being edited. I've sent it to a few people to preview, and they've loved the information that's in the Flash guide. They didn't know what they were doing in Flash, and they said all the information in there is great information to start learning and to start getting Flash photography done. Excuse me. We've got James Marquette. What do you use to record your raw talks? Camera, lenses, mics, and any lights. What's that say? Any lights. Yeah, lenses, mics, and lights. We've got the GoPro right here, which has a audio cable plugged into our Zoom. What board is it, Stephen? The Zoom R24. It's like 24 channels, records right to an SD card, but it's also recording audio right here into the Hero camera. We've got the Nikon D4 right there, which is just picking up audio, which will sync later. I've got the 24 to 70 on that, probably zoomed out to about 50, and that's recording. We've got the other one that was on Stephen earlier, which is right now it's the D800 with a 50 millimeter lens. What are these microphones called? Do you know? MX? Are they MX audio? I can't see it, but I think they're MX audios. They were like $80. I ordered them from B&H. I bought 5 of them at a time. And they're solid. So they run through XLR cables right into that 24 board, Zoom board, and MXL7 what? 770. MXL 770 microphones. So that's the stuff that we use. So we do have the GoPro here. I thought about using multiple GoPros, but I like the quality from the DSLRs much better. That's personally what I like. We've got the basic mic stands, and you see these spit guards. This allows us to or pop guards, so we don't get pop in the audio. And then Steven stands over there and monitors it, or Ari stands over there and monitors it. So we've got Bobby Joe Pace Jr. Mother's Day is coming up, and what is your favorite or fondest memory of your mom when you were growing up? So I'll go back to, she was the photographer of the family, so she always had cameras. She was at the forefront. Now, my dad had a good 80s. You know, they did well in the 80s. Not so well in the 90s monetarily, but in the 80s, the schmata business was good, so my mom was a stay-at-home mom, but she liked to go buy toys, like technical toys. She had the one of the first Sony Beta camcorders that came out. So that was a big-ass tape. I still have it at home. I got to bring it in here. And she would always take beta tape. She'd film us playing sports. She'd film us at Disney World. She carried this thing around in a rainbow duffel bag. I have the rainbow duffel bag. I am fond of rainbow things. I probably got that from my mom because I like the colors. But yeah, she would carry that stuff around. She had a Canon one-shot. It was their automatic point and shoot camera, which was a fantastic point and shoot camera. She got some amazing shots out of there. She was the photographer. So my fondest memories of that, and I'll tie it into photography, is going to Disney. Yeah, we used to stand there. My mom would take forever to take the picture. So my dad, my brother, and I were standing in front of Thunder Mountain Railroad, or we're standing in front of the castle, and we were like smiling, and instead of say cheese, my dad's like, say shit. So we're sitting there like, shit. We're like 5 and 7 years old. I was 5, my brother's 7, and we're like, say shit. Hee, we said shit. So we smiled, and then my mom would finally take the picture. But she's not in as many photos. But what's great is we can go back to find one of my earliest photos ever taken, because if it's a picture of my mom, dad, and brother, we know that I took the picture because I'm not in it. Little Jawed. Little Jawed's going to take your picture. Okay, everybody say shit. I'm going to take your picture. That means that my first pictures were taken with a Canon. Oh, my God. The revelation that my father took it. Oh, my God, it was the Canon. Good question, though. That's my fondest memories with that. SEOIRSE. CORIs. Brennan. Should I buy a D4 or wait for the next gen, considering it's out for a while now? Well, the D4's only been out for a year. That means they're not going to put out a D4S for at least another year, if they even do it. Now, if we go back to my FroKnowsPhoto predictions for 2013, I made the prediction that we would know by December or November that a new camera would be on its way. That a D4S or whatever's replacing the D4 would be announced around November or December of 2013. No. If you can afford a D4 and you have all the glass, buy it now. What are you going to wait for? Do you have pictures to take, or are you just going to sit around not taking pictures? Yes, buy a camera. Alex Medvick. Are 4-year photography degrees worth it over 2-year ones? Well, it depends on the person. Now, Antonelli Institute is a 2-year photography school. Can't use the C word. They're not classified as a college. They're a photography educational technical school. I have to get the rundown of the approved words I'm allowed to use. They were telling me about that because they're not considered a college. I call it a college because whatever. It's where I went after high school. So that's 2 years of straight photography. But I think it's very important to have a 4-year school sometimes to pick up other things other than photography that are important in this day and age. It's a crapshoot. It's up to you. And I think we have a question coming up later, which I go into more detail about that. How often do you use prime lenses? This is from Hans Haberkorn. I don't use primes very often. I have them in my bag, but when I'm shooting concerts and musicians and fast-moving objects, I'm using my Hebrew Trinity, 14 to 24, 24 to 70, and 70 to 200 primarily. And the primes are fantastic. The colors are great. Everything looks really nice in them, but if I'm shooting portraits, I could use a 200 f2. I could use an 85 1.4. I could use a 135 f2 DC. I could use fixed lenses at that point, but for my fast-moving stuff, I primarily don't use the fixed lenses. Now, Adam is moving straight towards prime lenses. He's getting rid of all his zooms. I think he got rid of his 70 to 200. He's going to get rid of his 24 to 70 in place for a 35 1.8. Oh, yeah, by the way, don't forget about FroKnowsPhoto Bootcamp Tour. Check it out, FroKnowsPhoto.com/bootcamps. We've got different tour dates coming up. You can see the ones that are available. Maybe we'll come to your town, and you guys will get in and learn from us. We've got Mike Chang, pork roll or scrapple? I don't want to throw up right now, but neither. Oh my God. Hold on. I got to drink. I can't puke on that one. Just the thought of that makes me sick. Neither. I don't eat any pig. Nothing from a pig gets eaten by me. Micah Coletti. Do you convert all your RAW files to DNG? No, I don't convert any of them to DNG. The only ones I convert to DNG are the ones that I put up on Edit This RAW File. The reason I don't convert them to DNG is, one, I don't take the time and have the extra storage. DNGs are smaller than RAW files. Smaller than NEF files. They maintain all of the original information, just stored in the digital negative format that Adobe has. One day, maybe I'll have a quick converter and we'll convert every single RAW file that I've taken to DNG, but I don't do it currently because I don't think the NEF files are going away, and I don't think the CR2 files are going away, so I don't make that change right now. Simon Reese. What's your favorite all-time? Stuck on a desert island with a case of film, changing bag, portrait darkroom, portable darkroom, unlimited paper and chemicals, black and white film, and why? Personally, I'm hard pushed to decide between T-Max 3200 for grain. Honestly, we're stuck on an island, and I've got film. I've got a changing bag. I got a portable darkroom. I've got unlimited paper. I've got unlimited chemicals. Can I drink the chemicals to survive? If we're stuck on an island, I don't know if I'm going to take pictures. Maybe I'll just soak in the scene and just look at it. I don't know. So I'll play into your game here. Would I take 3200? No. If I could only have one speed film, it's probably going to be 800. But technically, the 3200 speed T-Max is 30. The HP5 or whichever one that Ilford makes. I'm gonna scratch out T-Max. I take the Ilford 3200, which technically is 800. I don't know. No, I want HP5. Screw it. 400 speed HP5 because I can push that to 800 without much of a problem, without getting a lot of grain. And so I would take that, and that's what I'd shoot with. If it's only black and white, then I'd have a fun day sharing it with the wildlife and animals. I'd put up my own gallery. I'd hang pictures on trees and see what the birds think and see what everybody else thinks, but there's nobody else on the deserted island. Andrea Current, how do you feel about wireless SD cards? Is it best to then shoot JPEG as no post-processing occurs, since the shot has to be sent right away and there is no time for post-processing? I've never used one of these wireless SD cards. Stephen, have you? No? I haven't used it, and honestly, I shoot RAW, and I don't think we're gonna push RAW files wirelessly at 18 megabytes apiece from my camera, wirelessly to an iPad, wirelessly to a computer. It's gonna chew up a ton of battery. I don't even know if it's gonna work. No, I've never used a wireless card. I personally don't need to move that quick. If you want to move quick, you can pick up something like the Cam Ranger. You can still shoot RAW plus JPEG. It's going to throw the JPEGs up onto the screen if you want. That's something that I wouldn't use one of these wireless cards, because where can you use it? Now, I know that you can tie it right into your phone and take pictures and have them go up instantly. So if you have the option to do RAW plus JPEG, then I would take that option and do RAW plus JPEG and let the JPEGs be sent out in BASIC and then still have the RAW files to script out later. So I am down to the last question, Stephen. How far in are we? 50? No way. No way. Where'd the time go, Stephen? Matt Todd, if someone were to force you to go to college, what degree would you get that would help towards a future in photography? Well, one, nobody should really force you to do anything. Don't be forced. You have the ability to say no. No means no. Sometimes it means maybe until you get a yes. I've learned that with certain ladies. It's kind of true though. If I was to do a 4-year school, this was part of that question earlier. This is just somebody else asked it. I think the important things to take in school, and I know, Stephen, is your mic still on? No? All right, don't worry about it then. I'm not going to sit you down there anymore. If I was to take a 4-year school, I would focus on photography and focus on audio engineering, which is, I know what Stephen did that. I'd focus on editing video, how to do anything multimedia. If you can edit video, if you can understand audio, you can understand your photography, you're getting yourself ready to do multiple things. Multiple aspects. Are you going to sit down? Should I turn on your camera? Yeah, you sit down. Give me the thumbs up. So Steven's going to sit. I'm going to
chime in on this one.
All right, go ahead, Steven.
I did a 4-year school. I did Rowan University in Glassboro, New Jersey. And basically, I did communications to kind of round off the edges instead of just specifying on photography or something along those lines. So I think it was better off doing it that way, because I did media, I did video editing, I did photography, audio, everything pretty much. So I thought it was good, but as far as going to school for photography specifically, for me, I think it was better to choose communications, because I can do a little of everything, pretty much
writing,
dabble in everything.
That one's good. That camera's still good?
Yep.
All right. How much time was left on there?
You got about 10 minutes.
Oh, good, because we're going to wrap it up soon. But yeah, that's interesting. Well-rounded is important today.
Yeah.
You understand your marketing, because as a photographer, you heard this when I spoke at Antonelli the other day, is we're marketers. Mm-hmm. We're branders. There's nobody that's going to be better at pushing out yourself and promoting yourself than you. Mm-hmm. So what I love about Stephen, and we met years ago, maybe 2 years ago?
Yeah,
in the
2
photo
or 3.
pit.
Yeah.
And we just kept seeing each other at shows until the one day I saw him on stage introducing 33311.
I work for radio on the side.
Yes, radio1045.com.
Plug.
You can check him out and listen to his music news. That's why he said music news earlier, because he also does that on the radio. But Stephen is really well-rounded, and he's been helping me take these videos to the next level. For anybody that's wondering who edited the Canon video, who edits now the multi-angles of the RAWtalk, Stephen is doing that. Stephen can do that. He can shoot video. He's got a shoulder mount rig, over-the-shoulder rig that he can shoot. He understands audio. He understands the basics of more than the basics of photography, but he gets it. So he's well-rounded. He can edit my work in writing. You can write articles. He can get on the microphone and do the audio. He can run the soundboard. He can run the mic, the cameras. Everything that we need, he's doing, and it's really helping me take these videos to the next level.
Yeah, I think that's where my 4-year school, because as far as video go, I will say schooling helped me out there. Photography, I did a lot of online, I learned from your site, obviously, and just online, I learned probably 90% of my photography, but video was a little confusing to me, so that I did specify in school, and I took advanced production 2. We shot on the Red Epic. It was awesome.
It was epic.
4K.
Bro.
Yeah.
We're going to get one of those. Borrow Lenses is going to send me one.
They're expensive.
They're going to send me one.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Because we'll make a video about it.
Well, it shoots, native 800 ISO, and the sensor is incredible. It's so nice.
We're going to play with it. But so really, I've said it before. If I could have taken a 4-year school, there would have been a lot I would have done. I did the 2-year photography school at 18. I wasn't ready for very much more. I was still very sheltered. Partly my fault. Didn't really get out there into the world. But I think what you said is to be well-rounded. Take as many of those classes in school as you can. It's not just photography.
Yeah.
Photography is an ever-changing, evolving, revolving door escalator that runs around in circles of evolution.
Yeah.
Because it's always changing and technology is changing. You want to be at the forefront of it. You want to be able to do the video editing, especially today. I didn't know how to video edit. I'm not a great video editor. I can get by with the basics. I did it for over 2 years on my website. I still edit a lot of my own videos, but they're very basic. They're very simple. Part of the reason I did one take, 5 minutes, was because I didn't have to edit.
Yeah.
I didn't want to cut things up. It took too much time, and 2, it's just I didn't know what I was doing yet.
Yeah.
So I got the very basics down. I taught myself, but I would have loved to have learned on professional rigs and professional gear to understand how to do it properly. Same with audio. If I understood audio better and all that stuff. So yeah.
Cool.
What else? That's it.
That's pretty much it. I mean, I definitely, I enjoyed going to school. I did a lot of classes. I learned a lot. I mean, as far as audio and video photography, I already knew going in, so I didn't really I took some photography classes like photojournalism and black and white photography and the whole film side too. But I worked in a photo lab for 7 years, so I mean, I understood that enough to not really need.
I've known people that have worked in photo labs that couldn't shoot their way out of paper bags.
That's true. That is true.
That.
Yeah, but I've worked on KISS processors, Noritsu, Graytag, like
Kodak.
Yeah, everything you can really think of.
Cool. So that's a great question, and I think that's a perfect answer. So we're gonna start to wrap it up there. Do we need to reset that one, or it's good? Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget, all of Stephen's photo news is over on FroKnowsPhoto.com/podcast. Click the link that pops up on the screen, that may be on the screen for this video. Up top right corner, it says download or click. We're going to have that. Right, Stephen?
Yep.
We're going to have that put up there, which adds extra exporting time because it's
gonna be
extra
awesome.
frames.
Can't wait for that rendering time.
We can maybe skip that. But I don't know, put it up every so often.
Yeah.
Every 10 minutes, like click up on the right corner. It's going to, because we can now click right from YouTube to take you to the website. But yeah, the news that we talked about is going to be built into the article. You can check all of those out over there. This is episode number 34. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy the multiple angles. Hope you enjoy Stephen's photo news. Let us know what you think down below on YouTube. Leave some comments and some feedback, as well as send me an email, whatever you would like to do. Stephen, thank you for being here again.
Thank you.
And there you have it, guys. We are going to call it a day. Don't forget to check out the FroKnowsPhoto.com/bootcamps. Not the FroKnowsPhoto. I do own that website, though. I did buy the Facebook.
Yeah.
FroKnowsPhoto.com/bootcamps to see the upcoming bootcamp tour dates, so you can pick up, learn from Adam and I. Check out the t-shirts, store.FroKnowsPhoto.com. Check out allenscamera.com if you're looking to pick up gear in the United States. Check them out. Give them a call, 215-547-2841. Ask for some help. They will be there to help you out. And really just want to thank you guys for watching week in and week out and downloading this. Please subscribe on iTunes because there are going to be times where I'm only going to release certain audio just to people who are subscribers. That means if you're not a subscriber and you only watch it on YouTube, you're not going to get this bonus audio that I will be putting out. I'm going to put out the audio that I did at Antonelli Institute as a bonus just for people who are subscribed. So one day you're just going to see an extra audio feed show up in your podcast app if you're listening on iTunes. And actually, Ari's going to explain to me. I think it will go out to anybody that subscribes on Stitcher or other places like that. You'll be able to hear this audio. So go to iTunes, go there and just type in FroKnowsPhoto, and you'll get FroKnowsPhoto Raw Talk. Subscribe there because you will get the podcast a day earlier than everybody else. They come out on Monday at noon if we have a new one, and then by Tuesday is when we have the next one come out. And we're going to leave it at that. This was a fun Raw Talk. Hope you enjoy the flying solo. Hope you enjoy the multiple angles and the photo news. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.